the first female DG for Nigerian law school. I think that's a historic something that should be celebrated perhaps by the learned fellows, and that's because she's since about a good number of decades actually when the institution was created. So that seems like a good one right there. But talking tax now, new tax reform won't lead to tuition hike. That story is also one of the stories we brought to you earlier. That's coming from the federal government saying, assuring the national station of Nigerian students that this will not affect your tuition. There's no hike in view, so just relax. Of course, we'll get into all of that as we also check some other stories that are making the rounds. But of course, Jonathan, PDP leaders meet over state of party. That is also a big caption, page 2 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. There's been claims, speculations, innuendos, hearsays, and all of that about Jonathan joining again, to be the presidential candidate for the PDP come 2027. That is also on the table of discourse. We'll have all of those conversations right here today. But I won't do that alone because I have with me Ignatius Eboselume, who is going to help us into some of these stories. We'll break, we'll unpack some of these stories because there's so much to unpack today. Ignatius, good morning to you this morning.
Good morning to you and Oluwapoidu.
And you're like,
Happy New Year to you too.
Yes, it is. The Niger Delta way.
Yes, Etibo.
Etibo.
Yes.
What local government is that?
No, Etibo, that's the attire I'm wearing.
Oh, okay.
It's called Etibo in Niger Delta.
Anyway.
So the cap I'm wearing represents the Yoruba race.
Okay, that's a combination of races. Yeah. But let's get into the stories so as not to race ahead of ourselves. But of course, the issue about Atiku, I'm quite sure you are abreast of this. Atiku, ADC, all of the conversations surrounding defections as well. It says APC would not choose for their party. There's been claims, especially if you recall what the Minister of the FCC said recently, maybe about a couple of weeks back. He said that there's no, in Rivers State particularly, that there's no PDP, there's no APC. Everybody's working under something called Renewed Hope Family. So he tagged it as such. And some have come to say you have no business running into the affairs of the APC in the state. If you claim to be PDP and you're doing your anti-party activity, it doesn't make you a leader of the APC. But it seems like the same narrative right here, especially with Atiku. There's a plot that they said, allegedly, that, that Atiku is willing to destabilize ADC. Others are saying that that particular plot will fail. But we can see all of this in the news. But I want to get your view. What do you make of all of this issue, especially with Atiku saying that no aspirant will step down? Because that's the party saying that no aspirant will step down. But do you think Atiku is enough to hold the party to ransom or to flag the party to success, especially come 2027 presidential elections?
From the trajectory of the narrative, and without missing words, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, the former Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, has never lost a presidential primaries before. Even in 1993, he was asked to step down for the late June 12 winner, Chief Moshood Kashimawo Olawale Abiola. The rest is history. So Atiku has never lost any presidential primaries before, though they have called him a serial loser when it comes to the issue of presidential election in this country. The same thing also applies to His Excellency Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He has never lost an election before, right from the level of the Senate, governorship election, then the issue of the president.
So let's go to the chase. Do you think he has a chance with the ADC? The
chance is there for Atiku Abubakar to emerge as the flag bearer of ADC. But I wouldn't know what is going to happen at the end of the day, because after each primaries is being conducted, you must set up what we call reconciliatory committee, because we have some people that will not be happy with the scenario. Some people will want to defect to other party. Some will choose to remain and become a political spoiler. But there is one thing I've discovered in Nigeria: the type of politics we play. We play the type of politics that is best being described as Tom and Jerry politics.
How do you mean?
Tom and Jerry politics. You know the American cartoon that we used to watch, Tom and Jerry, hide and seek game. Each political aspirant is desperate for power. Each political aspirant is selfish. There's two conditions that is required when you want to contest for election. One, popularity. Two, acceptability. It's not necessary whether you have money to fund the campaign. But a political party that want to win election does not rule out these two critical factors, popularity and acceptability.
Do you think
it's not necessary for the candidate to have money to fund the campaign.
Do you think Atiku is popular enough and has the other potential that you've said?
Atiku, for me, he has that popularity, but his acceptability for now is still questionable.
So he doesn't have a chance.
Because of his past record.
But does he have a chance?
He has the chance to emerge as the ADC flag bearer.
Does he have the chance to emerge as the president of the nation, Nigeria?
I wouldn't know. It is the Nigerian electorate, the Nigerian public, that will decide who and who is going to be their president in 2027.
Would you vote Atiku?
But there is one thing I've discovered, that Nigerians want a change.
But would you vote, maybe we want a change. Would you vote Atiku for a change?
That's my own privacy. And I cannot divulge my privacy on air.
So that means many Nigerians should not even say where they belong to, right?
For now, you can choose to say it out. But for me, let me wait till the day of election.
I think that would be a bit too late to decide.
No, before election, I know who and who to vote for.
Anyway, if you want to claim the views is personal or private, it's okay.
But there is one thing Atiku said too, that APC is trying to plan a plot to destabilize ADC. For now, those who are saying that ADC happen to be a formidable opposition, they have right to their own opinion too. But for now, you know, ADC for now does not have a senator. They don't have a member of the House of Representatives. They don't have a governor.
So that takes us to the next conversation, especially on the print as well. Jonathan met with PDP leaders. Turaki was there, and there were conversations about if the convention that took place was viable, was potent, and then if INEC was doing its due diligence to do what it's supposed to do and not being partisan. There were a lot of conversations. I saw the video, and it was quite a big one to really unravel. But let's get to the issue. PDP met with Jonathan. There's been claim speculations. He did not publicly say that, but there were speculations that what could that mean? Because Raki was saying they wanted to intimate him with all of the run-ins and then what they have been doing and then the party issues as well. Maybe he can prefer solution. But this is the case. PDP has met with PDP has met with Jonathan, the former president, and it seems like some are saying in some quarters it might be their flag bearer for the 2027 elections.
There is one thing on ground, and it's a controversy. A legal controversy, that based on the Nigerian constitution, you cannot be sworn in twice. Jonathan was sworn in as president to complete the term of late Umaru Musa Yar'Adua. Then again, he was also sworn in 2011, if you remember. Twice. You cannot be sworn in as president for more than 2 times.
Is it you cannot?
So it's a legal controversy.
But yes, that's exactly it. So because some would claim, is it a concern of being sworn in or running for presidency?
The law is the law. The law is supreme. Your constitution is supreme. The American soldier will say, we are not obeying orders because President Donald Trump is the president of the United States. No. We are only obeying the order based on the Constitution of the United States of America.
But even at the United States currently, there's been that claims that Trump is doing a lot of things out of the Constitution. Even I think US Republican members have met on this issue to debate if it was in his right, if it was in the right of the Constitution, according to the US, to go to Venezuela, for example, and pick up the president. There's been that claim that he's not also agreeing to what you've just said.
But in the United States Constitution, there is the clause for him to apply the executive order. Trump is trying to promote what we call a drug-free American society.
But we'll still get to that conversation.
So he decided to go to the source.
Let's
that was why he decided to go to Venezuela. Venezuela is also planning to go to Cuba.
We'll still get to that conversation. Too. So let's talk about Jonathan and PDP that we are trying to spotlight to see what exactly is the case with. Do you think, okay, maybe you think or you're suggesting that Turaki and other PDP members of that faction are not in their right state of consciousness to say it should be their presidential candidate, or it will be flouting the rules by doing that?
It's not good for us to flout the rules. What does the Constitution say? You cannot be sworn in more than 2 times.
Well, I don't
that
have
is what the Constitution is saying.
I don't
Jonathan has been sworn in as president twice. So So that is the issue I have with the legal profession. There is one thing I like about mathematics. 1 plus 1 is 2 all over the world. But there has been controversial judgment in law. If I was a law student, I would have decided to be a constitutional lawyer. And my PhD thesis will be centered on the Nigerian constitution. That would have been my thesis.
But there are a lot of
that
thesis.
is full of what we call controversial clauses.
There are a lot of clauses like that, but maybe thesis like that as well. Some would have done some jobs on that and maybe some research on that as well to probably prove that. But let's.
So that was why I don't want to comment on the issue of Jonathan, whether he should contest or not, because there is an issue on ground, a legal controversy that you cannot be sworn in more than 2 times, and this man we are talking about has been sworn in for twice now. The issue of Jonathan, when you are saying is Jonathan a sellable candidate, true, he's a sellable candidate. Do you understand? But there is one thing you must know about Jonathan. He's a weak president and also a fearful president.
You called him that.
Weak and fearful.
Why do you call him?
Yes, he was a weak and fearful president. That was why he lost that election.
In your opinion?
I have my right to my own opinion. A weak and fearful president cannot rule Nigeria.
How come?
Let me give you an example. He was the president, but he was not in charge of the presidency. It was always Dame Patient Jonathan.
Ah, well.
That was why people like Sheikh Ahmad Gumi was not happy during Jonathan's regime. He said it has always been Dame Patient Jonathan. Nigerians voted for President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. But the impatient Jonathan was in charge of the presidency.
I mean, that's an allegation.
But when you are talking about Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he's in charge of the presidency. When Muhammadu Buhari was in power, he was not in charge of the presidency. It was Abba Kyari, of blessed memory. When Chief Olusegun Obasanjo was the president of Nigeria, he was in charge of the presidency. We want people that are in charge of the presidency, not de facto leaders.
But exactly, yes. If I may come in now, one thing is sure: if you say it was a weak president,
weak and fearful,
like you called him. But let's think about Turaki and the PDP leaders. Are you trying to say what they are trying to do, especially in promoting, a Goodluck Ebele Jonathan for their presidency? Are you trying to say they are not conscious of what has been happening, or of that state that you called him? Because if you are it seems you are the only person saying that as well. Because the PDP is not seeing it that way. They want him to be the flag bearer. You are saying it was a weak. So
and fearful president.
How do you promote a weak? How can anybody promote a weak president?
Let me give you an instance. Niccolo Machiavelli made an assertion, and what did he say in his book, the book he wrote, The Prince? He said, politicians are typically held in low esteem because they are perceived to be power-seeking hypocrites who conceal personal ambition and hide behind the rhetorics of public service. Now, the other time I was telling you that we play what we call Tom and Jerry politics in this country, the hide-and-seek game. They just want to use Jonathan just to ensure that Nigerians can be willing to vote for him the second time again.
I mean, I'm not sure that would be correct. They are not using him to know whether they want him to help them so they can win.
They want to use Jonathan as a pawn.
You think they don't have interest?
That was betrayal of trust.
You think they don't have interest in becoming the president?
I said there was betrayal of trust. You are talking about Taminu Turaki. Has he been able to reconcile the warring faction in PDP? Charity begins at home. PDP as a political party has failed Nigerians in the area of playing the role of the opposition. That was why a third force emerged. And what is the third force? The ADC, African Democratic Congress. I'm not campaigning for them. A lot of big wigs have left PDP and they have decided to join the ADC. So people are seeing ADC as a formidable opposition party. But now, the question is this: is ADC a credible alternative? Those are the moral questions Nigerians should ask. Is ADC a credible alternative? Nigerians want a change. Some Nigerians are tired about APC. But is ADC a credible alternative?
Let's exfoliate this just a little more. Yes, I want to get your opinion. Who do you think it would be best to put on the platform of the PDP to contest for presidency from your own estimation, from what you've seen, the projections and everything you
I'm
have.
a public affairs analyst.
You can decide. You can also make a claim, just like you said. You can make an opinion.
I cannot make a claim for any political party or for an individual.
Because if
my name will still remain Ignatius Eboseluime Ofinu.
Here's why.
I'm different from President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. What I can say about Jonathan is this: he was a weak and fearful president. That was why he lost the presidency.
Well, anybody can lose a presidency owing to many reasons. And it's not just because.
Let me give you an example. It will be very difficult for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu to lose the presidency in 2027. Because he is a master strategist.
You didn't want to make a claim on Jonathan, but you're making a claim for the president.
No, I'm not making a claim.
You've just made one.
We are talking about someone that is strong versus someone that is weak. Someone that is confident versus someone that is fearful.
I think that would
Nigeria need a radical leader that will introduce radical reforms.
So you think Tinubu
that will fight corruption to a standstill. A socialist leader, not a capitalist leader.
So you think Tinubu is doing that effectively?
I wouldn't know. Nigerians are the rightful judges.
That's exactly why I want you to help Nigerians. You seem to have a body of knowledge that is okay. Let's have this kind of leader because these are the kind of leaders that will help us. Propose a kind of leader that Nigerians can vouch for.
I cannot choose for Nigeria.
But you are making claims that Tinubu is doing excellently well.
I'm not saying that. That is not what I'm saying.
You've asserted that, you've implied that in your statement.
No, that is not what I'm trying to say. Nigerians are in the best position to say if Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is actually is doing well, especially in his policy reform. Then in the issue of power infrastructure, they have to decide. In the issue of security, they have to decide. In the issue of running the economy, they have to decide. I'm not the one to say the president is performing or underperforming.
But you just said
I have a one vote. My vote is mine.
You've just said a former president did not perform well. Meanwhile, the same president.
No, I'm not saying that he did not perform well. He was a weak and fearful president.
A weak and a fearful president.
We are talking about his economic reforms. His economic reforms were good. But Jonathan lost it out because they discovered that he was a weak and fearful president. What they did to Jonathan, can they try it with Obasanjo? Can they try it with Bola Ahmed Tinubu? Let us be honest to ourselves.
I'm saying this because we've seen many presidents lose elections, and it was not owing to the fact that they were weak or they were fragile.
Which of the Nigerian sitting president lost the election? A sitting president.
Buhari once lost.
No, as a sitting president. Jonathan was the first.
For that same thing that you said.
Jonathan was the first.
Let me also bring it to your
consciousness.
consciousness.
Never lost as a sitting president. He was overthrown by the military.
Salfino, let me bring it to your consciousness that just after he left office, a United Nations organization gave him a Peace Laureate Award. And that's talking about the person you are calling a weak president.
Weak and fearful.
How come United Nations
because he was weak and fearful.
What bodies, what governing bodies?
To lose that election. In the first instance, Jonathan was an opportunist.
You think so?
He was an opportunist. He was a lucky person. Who imposed it on Nigerians? It was Chief Olusegun Obasanjo GCF that imposed Umaru Musa Yar'Adua and Jonathan. Why was Jonathan appointed as the vice president? Just to douse the tension in the Niger Delta that has become a volatile region.
But he became a president again after that lock.
Why did he become a president? Because of the death of Umaru Musa Yar'Adua.
And then he continued.
Umaru Musa Yar'Adua was a diplomatic president. He was the one that introduced what we call amnesty for the militants of the Niger Delta. He was the one also who approved 13% derivation for the people of the Niger Delta. He also established the Ministry of Niger Delta. So he has been a friend of the Niger Delta. It was just unfortunate that death took him. If not for the death of Umaru Musa Yar'Adua, Jonathan will never have become a president. And Umaru Musa Yar'Adua will have ruled for 80 years. The game will not have changed. And mind you, if not for the death of Yar'Adua, we would have been running a one-party state in Nigeria.
Now, are we running?
Under PDP.
Are we not running it now?
No, we would have been running a one-party state. under PDP, if not for the death of Umaru Musa Yaradua of blessed memory.
Now,
so the game changed.
Let's take, because for want of time, we're pressed for time, so we have to do just, as fast as we can now. So there's a report from Arewa leaders saying that they will not endorse any presidential candidate. There's been claims that PDP, or APC particularly, is trying to get to Abba Kabir Yusuf, the governor of Kano State as well. Because if you understand Kano State to be the Omas of the northern region, 1, 2, they have the most local government areas. You will say 44, and the next person is Katsina. The next state, is Katsina with 34 local government areas. And they also have the number. So if Kano State is also having the number, and we know that everybody's trying to, so there's been claims that the governor, Abba Kabir Yusuf, will move or defect to APC because he's currently in the NNPP. So there's been claims about that as well. So Arewa leaders have just come out to say they will not endorse any presidential candidate. What do you make of this?
We have to be fair and sincere to ourselves. Endorsing a candidate is not democratic. Let the good people of Nigeria choose based on free will, based on conviction, not imposition. We don't want religious endorsement of any kind. We don't want tribal endorsement of any kind. It's undemocratic. Let the people choose. A dad can decide to vote for party A, while the mom decides to vote for party B. The son can decide to vote for party C. Daughter can decide to vote for party D. At the end of the day, INEC will now collect the result. Any of the party with the highest what? Result or score will be declared the winner, not imposition.
But endorsement is not imposition.
It's imposition.
I can endorse you and not impose on people.
It's imposition.
I can formulate an opinion that this person is good, and that's not imposition.
It's imposition.
So you think Arewa,
you know that is what we call indoctrination? I can be indoctrinated. That is the issue with religious ideology. Indoctrination.
So you think Arewa leaders are imposing people on their people?
Yes! That is what they have been doing over the years. So this time around they said no. There should be what? Open doors.
Okay, I think we need to take just one story about new tax reform. Federal government came out to say, to denounce, National Association of Nigerian Students members and leaders to say this will not affect tuition. It seems this administration is quite intentional about education. We've seen what they've done, especially with the strike that was supposed to happen.
I remember there was a video I listened to and watched when the president was making his own suggestion to President Muhammadu Buhari. You know what he said? Slow down the economy, reduce the purchasing power, increase the tax net. So the president himself is a capitalist to the core. He knows how to generate revenue for the country through tax. You can see monthly allocation to state has been increased and to local government. But the life of the ordinary Nigerians have never been transformed.
Maybe that's the issue of government,
that is
of
why
state government, not the president.
There is poor governance. That is why the president is indirectly trying the Nigerian people. Ask your governors the question, what are you doing with our money? It's not the president that is at fault now. It has always been the state governors that has been at fault. The state governors, they are not in support of financial autonomy for the local government. They are not in support. The so-called governors that we have in this country, I see them as being the enemy of the people. Because now, there has been increase in monthly allocation. But what are they actually doing with that money? Has it changed the life of the ordinary Nigerians living on the streets? So there is a problem on ground. I believe in transparency. When we are talking about public governance, it's based on what? Service delivery to the people. And there must be what we call responsibility, transparency, and what? Accountability. If EFCC want to do their job, most of this current governor, when they leave office, they should be in jail. I'm telling you, there has been an increase in monthly allocation, but yet the life of the ordinary Nigerians is not being transformed.
But some have
that is why the president is being worried. The president is worried. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is worried.
But we've seen government.
That was why he said this time around, I'm going to use executive order. If you remember, he said it in December that in 2026 I may use executive
on
order.
Local government
yes,
autonomy.
to implement that financial autonomy for the local government.
Let's
people will not be saying the president is an autocrat. Is he an autocrat? No.
Let's draw it back. Let's draw it back to education. This seems to be like a good way because we saw NANS members celebrating and they were happy about the fact that the tax would not affect, tuition hikes and all of that.
The student union government that I know was funded upon the Marxist ideal. It's a socialist movement, not a capitalist movement. The current National Association of Nigerian Students we are having presently, all of them are capitalists. Greed is the basis of capitalism. The Nigerian Educational Loan Fund, was what triggered hike in tuition fees. We have a lot of dropout in our universities and polytechnic now, and higher and tertiary institutions. We have a lot of dropout now. Some people that cannot be able to pay for their tuition fee anymore, they have left school.
So you think NANS is socialist?
They were supposed to be a socialist movement, not a capitalist movement, because greed is the basis of capitalism. Now, look at what happened. When they introduced NER fund, at the end of the day, there was hike in tuition fees. ASU did not say anything about it. How many of us today can afford to pay our tuition fee? And this was what Baba Awolowo, the late political sage, saw. He said you must give each and every one of us what we call equal opportunity. Is there equal opportunity now? It is only students that are rich that can afford to pay their tuition fee. So whatever NANS is saying for now, they are saying it on their own because they have already betrayed the union struggle when it came to the issue of NER fund. What they would have done, tell the federal government, is this: fund the universities. The issue of NER fund should be optional, but there should be a benchmark when it comes to the issue of tuition fee. Tuition fee should not be more than probably 100,000, and there must be flexibility of payment that students can pay probably 3 or 4 times, and also be allowed to write their exam.
Ofindo, you've made valid points. Thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, so of course we'll now take a break now, and when we come back, the big story comes up live. Stay with us and don't go nowhere.
Need a professional space to bring your vision to life? Dominion Television Studios offers state-of-the-art facilities perfect for your next broadcast, commercial, corporate video, or live event. With flexible rental options, cutting-edge equipment, and a supportive team, we provide the perfect environment for high-quality productions. Unleash your creativity. For bookings, email us at marketing@dominion.org.ng. Call us on 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok at Dominion Broadcast and on X at Dominioncast. Book your space today. Dominion Television, your channel of choice.
is never given. It must be taken, and once lost, it must be rediscovered through strategy, resilience, and relentless pursuit. Since 2019, the All Progressives Congress, APC, has been out of power in Oyo State, with the People's Democratic Party, PDP, maintaining control. This political shift has reshaped the state landscape, forcing the APC to navigate the realities of life outside power, reduced influence, internal reorganization, public scrutiny, and the urgent need to remain relevant. How has the party adapted to opposition? What tactics has it deployed to challenge the ruling PDP? And can these strategies guarantee political survival and a possible return to power? I'm Oluwayemi Adelago, and this is Big Story. And today's discussion is titled Live Outside Power, examining Oyo APC's opposition tactics and political survivor. To help us unpack these questions, I'm joined by Honorable Molaja Olaye, APC's stalwart and commentator on national issues, who will share his insight on opposition politics and the party's journey in Oyo State. I welcome you this morning.
Thank you for having me, Yemi. I am delighted to be here today, and good morning to you via home for listening and watching us.
Definitely. And Happy New Year to you.
I'll same to you. Compliment of season. Yeah,
all right.
Thank you.
Yes, so, Honorable, from your own perspective, what challenges do you think Oyo APC face over time? I mean, in terms of strategy, in terms of morale, you know, can you bring up to speed on that?
Oh, thank you very much. We are, despite the fact that what is peculiar to politics is about interest, no matter where you are. Despite the fact that different political parties have different agenda, they have different things that they really want to do for the people. But at the end of the day, we must look dynamically at those people who are in this party. And when you're talking about power struggle, it comes in many forms. And a lot of people can define, I can use any tools to get to whatever they wanted. In APC Oyo State, it has been from one, I mean, among ourselves, when you are talking about a lot of credible candidates are there, and you expect that power to be fight for. So that is what the challenge we have in Oyo State. Apart from that, it is well stable and always there anytime.
What about anti-party activities? I mean, there was a time that, you know, certain members of Oyo APC were warned against anti-party activities.
It's peculiar to a lot of parties, because when people don't get what they want, with the style we have in Africa, it's different from what you have in developed world. When you are talking about United States of America, when you are talking about UK, when you are talking about UK, we talk about chief whips all the time. And when you are talking about the whip, it's about disciplining those parties who held by do anti-party activities. But in here, in Nigeria, the constitution is not well defined when you are talking about anti-party activities, what you can be able to do. But the constitution is really, I mean, it defined and is so explicit when you have to when you are to carry member of party. But when you are talking about anti-party activities, there is no solid machinery in different party to be able to discipline errant members. So that is the problem we have in Nigeria.
Okay, so Governor Seyi Makinde had a media chat late last year, and of course he said certain things. He said that there was a time he had a meeting with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu alongside Wike, and the president, you know, told him to organize Oyo APC, but then he said no to that. So I'm asking you, is it that Oyo APC is not organized as we speak?
Thank you very much. You see, when you are within your people, particularly when you are talking about those people who at a point in time align with Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu, when he want to clinch that mantle of leadership, I mean the presidential ticket that was fought for in Nigeria, he liaised with a lot of people, and they become friends. When they are there, it's different ball game. When you have to, when Asiwaju talks about how probably he was so happy, and he really want to commend Seyi Makinde for those G5 that align with him. But at the end of the day, when you are talking about organizing political party, the problem is not about organization. The problem is about internal democracy. When we have internal democracy, you don't have any problem about organization. When people can be able to choose who are going to lead them, if it's not going to be done by proxy, there is not going to be any problem. But he can do that. He can say that to Engineer Seyi Makinde. But Engineer Seyi Makinde know in himself that when you are talking about credible candidate, when you are talking about people that can be able to challenge it, he has no basis, he has no that bite to be able to organize your APC, because he doesn't have that might to have it. He doesn't have that experience as well. So it's about, probably they want to mash out his ego. That is why Asiwaju Mohammed Bola Tinubu push it to him that probably he wants him to organize Oyo State. But when he knew, he was vexed, because he knew, because if he's going to really organize it, he has to come to that party. And if he's come to that party, I am telling you, I've been saying it time with that number more than 3 years, that if he comes, he's going to be, there's no way for him. He cannot be able to challenge us, because many people that are better than him are in APC or your state.
Okay. It seems you do not agree that there's a bit of disunity amongst APC members in your state. But then let's take a look at what happened during the last election in your state. I'm talking about the Ibadan North Federal Constituency by-election, where the PDP candidate for Laoyukile won the seat, defeating the APC candidate Adewale Olatunji. Before the election, we saw all that happen, internal wranglings. I mean, within the APC of your state. There was a particular meeting that held, and then it ended in something that was not good at all. I mean, fight and things like that. So will you still agree that, I mean, there are no issues, amongst APC members in your state?
I am not saying there is no issue. That's what I'm saying to you, that when there are so many kind of titans, when you are talking about so many credible candidates, if you have them, definitely there's going to be issues. Because in order to fight, to get the just ordinary one ticket that they are going to use, I mean, that is going to be, they are going to compete for, you are going to find disagreement among them, which is normal. In any time, despite the fact that APC or your state is opposition here, you have seen people that have stood since the time they lost elections in 2019, and they are still there, and they are still enjoying the largesse, whether you like it or not, and they are ready to sacrifice and stay there. Compared to PDP, when you are looking at PDP, when they want to contest for any election, it's going to be by proxy. And I'm telling you sincerely, when you are talking about the candidates as well, you have people that can be able to be a somebody protege. That is what you are having PDP. But when you are talking about APC, you have those people that can be able to challenge any and contest any kind of position you have. So for that, you expect that, and there are some disagreement between all those candidates, and some things happen. But at the end of the day, PDP spend the upward chest of money, because they have the governor at their beck and call, and a lot of things exchange hands before the election. And when you are talking about the election of today, if it's going to be by-election, people are going to say, that is the team, and people want to get something out of it, and APC doesn't have those kind of watches of money to be able to spend. So what happened? It has come and go, and we have to watch forward.
Okay, Governor Seyi Makinde has said it times with that number that your state is PDP stronghold, and APC should even forget about whether they contest or not. PDP will still win this coming governorship election. Do you agree with that? I mean, because, he's made reference to certain elections that have happened in the past, just like this by-election, and where APC lost to PDP, and of course, the body language of the people. Do you agree with his stance?
I'm not going to argue with him on that, because I know APC or your state is only solely Engineer Seyi Makinde. He's enjoying it because people think that he's very quiet. They believe he's a quiet man, and they believe that because he's quiet, they don't know the kind of person he is. They just see the facade, and they are going to be able. That is the only PDP in your state is here in Seyi Makinde, and even if he's on ballot, he's not going to be able to even have kind of a sympathy he got in 2019 and 2023, and that is why we want him to be on the ballot, whether he likes it or not. We want him to be on the ballot, but what he said is just a cheap statement. It shows, when you are talking about, for the last probably about 12 years now, or even probably about 18 years now, 16 years now, we have been having either 2 or 3 senatorial districts. We have all been clenching it. We have been having not less than 8 or 9, 8, 7 or 6 thereabout, when you are talking about Federal House of Assembly, it has nothing to do with whether Engineer Seyi Makinde supported Asiwaju Bola Tinubu in the last election or not. We have been having this, and PDP has not been getting that. So what do you expect? That means we are popular. That means people love us generally. It was only Engineer Seyi Makinde. It was the only face of PDP. And with all the scandal that is now surrounding him, even if we want him to be on the ballot and see what he's going to be able to pull.
Okay, still speaking about 2027 election, Engineer Seyi Makinde during the media chat said something. He said Minister of Power, Bayo Adelabu's sacking is imminent. Even Tinubu knows that he does not have the capacity or competence to lead your state. Come 2027 election, Adebayo Adelabu won't be gubernatorial candidate of the APC. Everybody's eyes has been open to his qualifications to hold political offices. I think he's been able to link it to his current position as the Minister of Power, and then the fact that he's not been able to deliver as issued. And so according to him, he does not think he has the capacity, to lead the state. So he might not be on the ballot.
You see, he is not the one that is going to judge that.
Okay.
The candidate of PCP is going to be judged by APC. And that one thing about Chief Bayo Adelabu, one thing I love about him is that he doesn't want a shortcut. He doesn't want to cut corners. He always talk about internal democracy. He even doesn't want a kind of, probably you are talking about all these indirect primary. He wants direct primary. He wants all the members. He is the only person that has been campaigning for that. In all states, whether PDP, whether APC, whether ADC, all of them have not been campaigning that they want direct election. Because he believes he is capable. 2019, Engineer Seyi is not even up to 6 or 7, the best candidate we have in APC. Now, because he had it so cheap, so he thought because of a kind of conspiracy in Ibadan, he can be able to get that makes him to be somebody's better. Now, all the antecedent is about business. We know him about. But when you are talking about Chief Bayo Adelabu, we have seen his his lineage, being politicians.
I don't know. I won't agree with you on that because he's a different person. And then can we talk about how well he's performing in his current role?
You want to judge him with that?
No, I'm asking you to speak.
I am just telling you.
Okay.
I am just telling you.
That's
he
what
has
people are saying.
performed much better than any other minister of power in the history of Nigeria.
Really? What about the national grid that have collapsed several times?
When you are talking about the collapse of national grid, it's been done by saboteurs.
Okay.
A lot of people have been sabotaging what's it called? Electricity in Nigeria, power. They can go and disrupt it. They can go and damage some wire, and that is being the constant behavior and tradition in Nigeria.
Is that not his duty? To find it.
It is not about his duty. Okay. You are not talking about your state. When you are talking about Minister of Power, you are talking about 36 states,
exactly,
including Abuja, which is 37.
Exactly.
It's the expanse is so, and we are talking about obsolete material that has been in use since 1956. He said it. Now they are introducing a lot of new things. Now a lot of people doesn't want things to work because we are talking about the worker. You are talking about the Genco. You are talking about distribution companies who are discos, who are the ones that are benefiting from this corruption, and they don't want it to stop. Now you see that the federal government have bought not less than 700,000 meters. They want a lot of houses to be metered. If they are metered, they are going to know what they are being. What they are consuming is what they are going to be paying. You've seen that the federal government have involved trillion of naira in these power sectors, and you can see because of the sabotage, it's not working. Now, why do you think a lot of people, external body, are not bringing money in the power sector? Power is not cheap anywhere in the world. Nowhere in the world you can see power that's cheap. If you go to UK,
well, some countries are getting it, especially African countries.
Which African country? No African country. A lot of them are getting it from Nigeria, and they are getting it stable because they knew they are small in numbers. It is what they consume that they are going to be able to be paid for.
So is our population now a burden rather than a blessing? Because it should be a blessing.
Because of the sabotage.
Okay.
It is a blessing if it's not being sabotaged. If people are paying for what they are, mind you. With our population, we have to look beyond the conventional system of electricity. We are going to talk about solar. we are going to talk about a lot of things that can generate electricity. They having electricity power when there was a problem with Ukraine and Russia, and you see the European country has to boycott whatever is coming from Russia. They suffer for it because Russia is giving them a lot of a source of power in a lot of European countries. That is why there was increment in electricity in a lot of European countries. They don't joke with it. So now, what we have to know is that Adebayo Adelabu is the best performing minister in the history of Nigeria in power sector.
A lot of people will not agree with you on that.
They might not agree because they are talking. A lot of people are enjoying electricity more than it before right now. We can see Band A, as we talk about, despite that there was some challenges during December about electricity. Some people are still enjoying uninterrupted electricity because they know they are going to pay for it.
Where in Nigeria? Because, I mean, a lot of persons complain bitterly, especially that December period.
That December period, that's what I'm saying to you. Still, some people are enjoying it because they have been placed on those Band A, whether you like it or not. For those who sat down and talk about Band A and Band B, they know what we are saying. They knew that a lot of areas were well metered, and they don't joke with payment. There is no way you can see a lot of bypass. So consistently, when they know they are paying, they are going to give them what they need. In a kind of my area that probably about 60 or 70% is not being metered. What do you expect? A lot of electricity is going to be just be losing because they won't know which house consume what. So, and they are going to be giving power supply power as well. But at the end of the day, but a lot of money is being invested, and because of our attitude in Nigeria, we are still the culprit. I will tell you that, because nowhere when you go to a place like UK, you will see that when there is a cold, they are not going to be able to put on heater because they know they are going to be how much they are going to pay for it. You will see the whole family just trying to use duvet or all these blanket or whatever to be or stocking to be able to warm themselves instead of them putting on power because they know it's not cheap.
But this is Nigeria, it's not UK.
It is not about at the end of the day, power was not supplied from heaven.
Exactly.
It was being done by her.
Well, I'm just trying to say
again,
the peculiarities are different.
A lot of money involved. You can see $16 billion that was spent by Obasanjo on electricity that they don't even know where it is. But now you are talking about accountability, because a lot of people are now popping their nose to it and they are they want you to be accountable. You can see how some bad element wanted to spoil Chief Adelabu's name that Serap was talking about 2022, and they are labeling him that he was the one, he was in charge. When does it start? When was he given this portfolio? And he has done tremendously well because of this at this point in time.
Okay, let's talk.
So that is how for you to know that if Engineer Seyi Makinde is looking for a way out, he has been bossed to the corner when you are talking about that, and he has never been able to handle anything because he was given a governor. It was just like a role before he was given a governor's ticket. They don't even know what it is. They just know that they believe that he's a quiet man who doesn't talk.
But he won the election. I think at that point, the people of your state were ready to kick out APC out of office.
Thank you very much. No doubt about that. They have the right to do that.
And he won the election.
But at the end of the day, we are seeing the outcome right now. The outcome of this government is going to be ultimate because we are going to be talking about his weakness all the time. And his weakness is there for you, everybody, to be able to see. Compared to the last admission, people kick out. And it was the same man is popular. And nobody can be able to challenge.
Okay, let's talk about the Ibadan Circular Road. When that happened, there were a lot of hard balls. People complained bitterly, when some persons also said that, okay, it's for the benefit of people of your state. And I think at that time, Adebayo Adelabu gave out a certain amount of money to some of the victims. And then some members of the PDP were saying, is it like he's too desperate, to woo voters, against 2027? Because why should he give out money, to the victims of that, Circular Road, construction?
The beautiful thing about politics is that when you are popular, people sought for you.
Okay.
They sought for Chief Bayo Adelabu They wanted to consult with him. They wanted him to say what he doesn't need to say. They just, people are, when they are desperate, then they were desperate. I mean the Circular Road victims. They have not even been going out. They are looking for it. And when the man got there, he said to them that the government had the power to be able to acquire any land in as much as is beneficial to the people of Oyo State. That is what he told them. And he told them that he knew Engineer Seyi Makinde is his brother. They are the same from Ibadan. And he's going to be able to interface and talk to him about how they can be able to solve this problem. But when he was going, he promised them that he cannot be able to take care of you all. But sometimes, if anybody that is being affected, if you want to get a room, apartment, or 2-bedroom, or you want to use money for transportation to convey your property to new site, I can be able to give you. And when this government, the PDP, are saying there's some hula that yes, is giving the money for them to be able to demonstrate. It was later and later, it never released that money. He released it later, because the promise he had made, and he has fulfilled it.
Is that a good strategy? Should he contest for 2027 to win the election? Because people can take your money and still not vote for you.
That is not vote buying.
I'm not saying it's vote buying.
You see,
okay.
Going to, before Engineer Seyi Makinde came to the government, he's giving them lagis. He's doing Ilya, he's doing Christmas, and he has the place, he's been distributing things for them. As this, did he do that when he won election? Who is buying what? He has stopped it for a long time. He doesn't give people anything.
So according to you, it's a good strategy.
It is not about good strategy. I'm just telling you that.
Okay.
For you to be complaining about some people that are desperate and looking for solution, and be able to consult Adebayo Adelabu, and he talks to them. It is not about desperation. You cannot just live there. When you go to any place as a politician, you leave some things. That is why a lot of people are labeling him before that he was mean, but that he was a miser. Now he's giving money. They are saying he's buying the vote. Who do you want to satisfy? Before, they labeled him as a miser, that he doesn't spend money. Now that he's spending money, they say he's buying vote. What and what? How can we be able to satisfy human being?
I mean, he should have a mind of his own. He's a politician.
It is not about mind of his own.
People will say things about you as a politician.
He was concerned.
Okay.
When they are saying that he was a miser, that is what people talk about all the time. They said he's going to take all your state money. He's not going to be able to at least take care of people. That is wicked. That is a miser. And he, as a human being, he has to feel it. Now he's giving them things, and they say
did he bow to pressure? Because according to you now, the people labeled him a miser. So him giving out that money to the victims of the Battle Circular Road, is he bowing to pressure to say, okay, if they say I don't spend money, because there's a popular politician in this Nigeria that will say, we know they give shishi. So is it bowing to pressure by saying, okay, let's
the
give
same person that did not they give shishi, they saw him distributing money.
Okay.
The person that is what you see, one thing about governance is about, you have seen the from federal government who has given subvention to Oyo State so many times. Part of it is about Bodija victims. That Engineer Seyi Makinde was giving 30 billion.
I was going to get to that.
You see, now he pocketed a lot of it. He made sure he kept it and not being transparent, telling people.
I want to agree with you by saying he pocketed the money. Because
it's not about pocketing. I said he kept it without being transparent to the people. So it's like he pocketed it indirectly. Because if this kind of controversy doesn't come around, nobody is going to know about it. The money has been given for the past 1 year, and nobody had anything about it.
Okay, are you saying he's not transparent because he didn't mention
He's
it?
not transparent because he's supposed to have mentioned it.
Okay, but he's not the only governor that have received intervention for and didn't say a word about it.
My constituency is Oyo State.
Okay.
I don't know about Ogun State. I don't know about Ondo State. I'm not bothered. I'm not concerned. Because if they are going to ask me where I came from, I will tell them Oyo State. And that is where I do my politics. Now, apart from that, a lot of things have been given to Oyo State. As a kind of things you have to give to the people you are talking about, rights, this and that. Which one has Engineer Seyi Makinde declared? He has never declared anything. For you to know that what Chief Bayo Adelabu did was giving some things to the needies who are desperate. He told them specifically, if you want to, probably you need 1 room or 2 rooms apartment. Some of you can use it to, if a lot of politician comes. And I'm sure they have approached a lot of politicians.
But, Honorable, about 4.5 million naira was distributed, a billion naira, I beg your pardon, to the victims, and then Punch reported that around last year. About 4.5 trillion naira.
I know, I had.
Okay.
Before it was even distributed, it was when the pressure came from all those victims that the federal government told them that they are giving money to Oyo State. That is when he set up committee for how the money is going to be distributed. There was pressure being in the media that the pressure came and people start shouting that the government should release money because they were being informed that money is being given to Oyo State. That money was probably they had that they dig deeper, but they don't know the actual money. It was recent that we need the actual money.
Because
the money that's been given to you since 2024 now being known in 2025, I don't think it's fair.
Okay, but then I think according to Fire, she initially said 50 million naira was given to Oyo State.
50 billion.
50 billion naira. I don't know why I keep saying million. 50 billion naira. And then in turn, Oyo State said 30 billion naira was received and 20 billion naira was withheld. And according to Fire, he said more secret will be reviewed. So I want to take a very important headline on the West newspaper now that says, it's talking about, it says, Oyo APC accuses Makinde of hypocrisy, vows to expose more secret. Is that another strategy of Oyo APC against 2027 to expose more secret of this particular administration?
Without scandal, how do you think people can be able to be transparent?
What if it doesn't work?
Well, it is not about whether it's going to work or not. It is going to be lesson to others. Even the next administration of APC that is coming, that they must not keep secret. Don't think it's limited to Engineer Seyi Makinde. There are some APC state government that are not doing it right.
Okay.
It's a lesson to them.
Okay.
Anything that happens in politics, you must be able to look at your back. It is so important because you are meant to take care of the people. And when the money is being given to you to take care of the people, make sure you do that. You must not be selfish and be greedy and think only about yourself.
Well, he said the money has not been touched.
It is not about whether the money has been touched. The money is not meant to be kept. The money is not meant for the bank. The money is meant for the victims. Let's just be sincere with ourselves. We are talking about transparency. They said that I don't want to be talked. They don't want to be talked. Is somebody like him? He's going to tell the people whether he might tell them that I'm not going to give you all the money. The Oyo State people decide something. We are going to use some to. He's going to call them and they are going to know how to. But when you are talking about this administration, they are so secretive. It is embedded in the constitution that that is what Chief Adebayo has said. When he's the man that solves tomorrow. He won him. The last gubernatorial debate. That why is it only in Oyo State that all those financial activities is not being published? Chief Engineer Seyi Makinde has never done that. He's used to it because he believes nobody is going to question it. And that is why we have to ask a lot of governors. We have to ask them questions. If you don't ask them questions, how are we going to progress as a state? It's not possible. You saw that Engineer Seyi Makinde was the only one that talks about local government. He doesn't believe in autonomy of local government. He believes that local government must be an appendage of Oyo State government. They must be his protege. He is the one that is going to spend money for them. That is criminal. Okay,
what's the assurance that if any APC candidate should emerge, is going to do any better?
Any better?
Yes.
The constitution is boldly written. The constitution is there for us to see. Local government are different autonomy. If they are going to be questioned, if they are going to be put in jail if they are corrupt, it is there. It is not you that will tell them what to do. It is wrong.
Honorable, before we go, I want us to touch on this particular one. It's very recent. There's this headline that's saying Folari calls for probe into alleged shooting at the Ogbomoso APC Unity rally. The senator, Oyo State leader of the renewed Hope Ambassadors, urged for a full investigation into report that a commercial motorcyclist was shot during the All Progressives Congress APC Unity rally in Ogbomoso on Monday. And then because of this, don't you think it will send a wrong signal to the electorate? Because, I mean, it's just a rally. The election is still very far. Why should there be shooting and someone was shot? Really? What is going on within the APC?
When you are talking about APC, we are talking about the populace.
Okay.
A lot of people can be there. It can be PDP, it can be AC, the other party, which other party, it can be any other person. It can be some people that want to sabotage the system. For Fulani to have said that, he's meant well. He wanted to be explicit. He wanted to be transparent. It happened during the time of before 2018 election. A child was killed in Ogbomoso, the same place. What finally did they do? But now, for Fulani to have said that, they must probe it. Because they have been doing it and there is no kind of hula. And why is it now? And they didn't label that unity. They will keep saying that it is Adelabu's talk. Is he the only one that was on the field? But that's for you to know that when you are popular, when people knew that definitely you are going to be one of the best, they are going to look for a way to sabotage you.
Okay.
And we expect that. We expect more. I've been seeing some things flying around that Adebayo is going to win election in 2031. That is not surprising. We need it to be coming, and we are going to know how to deal with it.
Okay, in your honest opinion, because we need to go in just maybe one line, do you think APC or your APC, they need more strategy compared to beyond this? We're going to release more secret and all of those things, giving money to victims. Because
we have quality. It is not strategy. Okay. When you are talking about strategy, you are talking about this propaganda.
Okay.
We have quality. PDP must table their quality. Let us table our quality and make the comparison and for people to judge. When you are talking about oratory, when you are talking about how people can be able to present themselves, how they are going to spend money, we are there for them anytime.
Many times, good grammar might not win an election.
It is not about good grammar. We are talking about to be able to, even in Yoruba or English, bring it. Adelabu is there.
Okay.
He's going to be able to.
It's up to the electorate of your state.
I know that about, but they love to hear good things.
Okay.
Then you are going to know when Clinton came to power, he was an orator. Okay. When Obama came to power, he was one. Those are the popular orator. And when you are talking about Jeff Kennedy as well, he was a good orator who can be able to talk. And
former Vice President Yemi Osinbajo speaks so well.
It is not about that.
He didn't win primaries.
No. He is not orator. Okay. He might not win the primary compared to Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu. Okay. That can be able to boldly say anything anytime, and his word command a lot of crowd.
It's okay. We'll come back to this discussion after the election, but then we need to go. The true strength of the political party is not tested in victory, but in how it survives defeat. In Oyo State, the APC continues to navigate the challenges of opposition policies, facing the realities of influencing policy, maintaining party cohesion, and staying relevant in a political environment dominated by the PDP. Live outside government tests strategy, resilience, and the ability to connect with the electorate. Our discussion today has explored the tactics the APC has used to assert itself, the internal and external challenges it faces, and what it will take to ensure political survival and a potential return to leadership. My sincere appreciation goes to Honorable Molaja Olaye, APC stalwart and commentator on national issues, for sharing his perspective and insight on these critical issues. I'm Oluwayemi Adelako, and this has been Live Outside Power, examining Oyo APC's opposition tactics and political survival. Thank you for listening. This has been Big Story. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Need a professional space to bring your vision to life? Dominion Television Studios offers state-of-the-art facilities perfect for your next broadcast, commercial, corporate video, or live event. With flexible rental options, cutting-edge equipment, and a supportive team, we provide the perfect environment for high-quality productions. Unleash your creativity. For bookings, email us at marketing@dominion.org.ng. Call us on 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok at Dominion Broadcast and on X at Dominioncast. Book your space today. Dominion Television, your channel of choice.
All right, we welcome you back. Thank you for staying with us. This is still Daybreak Live on Dominion Television. I'm not alone in the studio. Anuluapo is back on set with me. Welcome back.
Thank you very much for having me back on the show. Anyway, I was I was relishing the conversation, especially with the APC, and it's quite a thing to, so much to hold from that conversation.
All right. So what do you have for us for Trend Watch?
All right. So for Trend Watch today, well, there's been this issue, and it's not just the first time. We've seen this again and again. But then the story is that Nigerian scholars abandoned in Morocco are lamenting hardship and hunger and unpaid rent. That's exactly the case. There was even a protest during the last game at the Morocco AFCON. And of course, there were claims that, yes, in fact, you needed to see the pictures. They came out to say that pay our scholars, that kind of thing. The students were there just to protest. And that's exactly not a good sight for the country, if you would agree with me. Because, of course, we understand that there's a bilateral agreement between nations. It happens in a lot of Pan-African countries and, of course, the extended regions of the world like Europe and all of that, that the federal government would, bring up scholarship schemes for students that are doing well and then take them abroad to study, which is a good thing that we say. But again, the question has been, if you cannot finish a thing, why start it? Because if you say you want to sponsor them and then you start the sponsoring only to leave them to their to luck, to chance, to expect them to leave. Some of them will have to do some extra work that the provision of the scholarship they are currently on does not allow for. Because, of course, some universities, some countries have certain rules that you cannot work exceeding maybe 20 hours for some countries, for example, in a week. You cannot do more than that. If you do it, then you flouted the rules, and then they might have to deport you and you have to abandon your education. But some of them would need a lot of money. Considering the currently now, many parents would not even be able to help their children abroad to pay for their tuition because of the rates of the Nigerian dollar to the US. For many countries as well, it's been a thing. But the case is now that they came out to the place where during the football match, and then they brought out placards to say, pay our fees and all of that. So you can it's not a good sight for the country. It's portending a bad image for the nation Nigeria. So that's exactly why a lot of persons have, I don't want to mention the names, there are a lot of persons also clamoring that you should attend to these ones. But maybe Nigeria would say there's no money. But this is exactly one of the conversations we've been saying, that if you want to start a thing, before you even start it, think it through. Don't just start into doing something because you think it's okay, people will clap for you when you do it. And again, that's one of the problems of successive governments. If a government finishes or starts something, the successive governments might decide not to go along with it and continue. So sometimes I think we should have enough documentation to say these are the projects that we're currently handling. Instead of abandoning this project, why not just finish it up? If you say you will not finish it during your tenure, then make it a statutory order to say whoever comes in, please continue from here. We have 75. We have 100 students in Morocco, 500 in Kinikon, and then we are sponsoring them. This is how much we are paying. Please note this. And then so whoever comes into power will be able to continue with that run. But I think this is not a good side for Nigerian students, for the Nigerian students, for the country as well, the image of the country in the outside world.
It's really sad. I mean, because this is not the first time that we'll be talking about, the education system in Nigeria, going through a lot. And of course, even the students that are even studying Nigeria, a lot of them are complaining bitterly. Speak of the student loan. How many students have access to that loan? But then the funny thing is, sometimes we just read some reports and you see things like 150,000 students, got access to the loan, and then people are complaining from one university to the other that we don't have access to the loan. So it's a problem. So now that the students are complaining bitterly about, their sponsorship and all of that, it speaks to the issues that we've been battling with over the years, not just about this current administration, honestly, to say the truth. But then will they respond to them and, of course, make amends? And it depends on them, because, I mean, I don't think a lot of things have happened, and then you can, as a Nigerian, you might begin to wonder, is it that this particular administration really does not care about, the image of the country outside of here? So it's a problem. And then one thing about this country is the fact that, we have the brains. Despite our Hydra-headed problems as a country, wherever you see Nigerians, they head ministries. Speak of the UK, there was a certain guy, I think United Kingdom, I think he's a medical doctor. He won 8 residential awards as a doctor, and he's a Nigerian. So we have the brains, but then it's a problem because we cannot manage the brains that we have. And then you talk about, these students, getting scholarship, going outside of Nigeria. Talk about lecturers leaving the university. University of Ibadan, for instance, when the COVID happened, especially after the COVID, a lot of lecturers left for better opportunities. Why won't they leave? Because the opportunities over there are better. So even Yoruba people will say, Lela and Wokato Somoloko, even the students and lecturers in Nigeria as a country, they are going through a lot. Speak of people that have been sponsored. So it's a problem, and I think we need to look for ways to actually, reduce all of this, honestly. I think it's a fine place to leave it this morning. We do hope that we have good news about this. So epic thanks to you for joining Daybreak Live this morning. Thank you for being a part of the show. Do well to join us same time tomorrow. My name is Oluwayemi Adelakwa, and I'm saying please stay safe. Bye for now.
And I will say, remember to do good, do well, do good by Nigeria, and actually do what's expected of you as a Nigerian. Thank you very much for joining us. My name is Oluwakwa Idowu. So we'll meet you again tomorrow. Bye for now.